First off, I wanted to start this podcast off on manifesting, saying that you are worthy of the best life possible. I don't care what anyone has told you or how you've been treated or even what you've been led to believe. This is for you. You are just as worthy of a great life as anyone else. It doesn't matter what your life has been so far. I know we all need this reminder sometimes. And today, we're going to talk about how our mind and all of those old beliefs and old ways of being that have been holding us back from manifesting with our hearts, how we can change all of that. So welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Alchemy of Manifestation podcast. I'm Jen Tammy at the Wheelhouse Project, and we are going to talk about how that sweet heart of yours is going to help you create the life of your dreams. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today was a book, one of my favorite books right now, actually. It's called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. And basically the premise of the book is it's about his life story. And he starts off talking about how he's really let the universe guide his whole life. But he goes back to talk about how when he was younger, he noticed how chattery his brain was, that it was constantly chattering and constantly hard for him to control. And he really kind of made it his mission to start to find a way to control his mind. And got heavily into meditation, and just trying to find ways to quiet his mind and keep his energy obviously more positive and open himself more to divine guidance. And as he did that, I mean, he learned that we can't ever completely turn off that chattery brain. We can observe it, we can change it, but it's really hard to turn off sometimes that constant talk that goes on in our heads. But he did learn over time to manage that better and to really get it relatively under control and calm it and keep himself in a calm state where that voice didn't affect him. And when he did that, he noticed that things that he was passionate about or loved or, made him joyful and happy, were starting to come to him. Like, for example, there was a piece of land that he wanted, and suddenly the money for that land showed up, and he was able to purchase the land that he wanted. Another example was when he started doing some work that he enjoyed on computers. Suddenly more and more work in that area started showing up to him. And it's funny because he talks about in the book how the universe just kept providing him things and leading him on the right path. But really, the interesting part is, it was really what he was putting his energy towards, what he was passionate about or loved, or like I said, was joyful, made him joyful and happy. Those are the things that he was attracting, but he attracted those at a greater and greater level as he learned to manage his mind better and better. Doing through meditation and other means. Mind you, there's a lot of ways for us to manage our chattery brains, but this is just a perfect example of how you can manifest co-creating with the universe easily with your heart once you can quiet and or manage your thoughts. So you are always manifesting and your thoughts just might be running the show. What if I told you that you're constantly creating your reality with your thoughts and your words? Just in observing yourself, are they all positive or are they mostly positive? Are they drawing what you want to you? Often our thoughts and reactions are really the results of the beliefs of the people around us growing up, usually, or the people around us throughout our lives, their manipulations, their insecurities, and then our unhealed wounds, our unworthiness feelings, or unforgiveness, among many other things. There's so many underlying influences to what we believe or don't believe that we can create in our life. And we really have to pay attention to where that's coming from and work to heal it, of course. But there's other things. We need to stop making generalized statements about ourselves, often coming from those old beliefs, but they set us up for failure or push things away from us. So things like, I can't afford it. I never have enough money. I never have enough time. I'm always unlucky. Finding love is hard. These are statements that are basically declaring a truth for yourself, for the universe to follow. And you're creating your own reality with a statement like that. You are basically the result of what you think about and speak about all day long, positive or negative. So really, negative thoughts and words set you up for lack, limitation, and frustration. So, do try and find the positive, and do notice when you're doing things like that or saying things like that, and start to make changes, because mind you, we still have to heal our old beliefs and our old issues. We can at the same time start to change our patterns and our thoughts and what we speak as the truth in our life. And then there is worry. Don't we love worry? We all spend way too much time worrying, really. And that's a sign that we need to work on our faith. And we'll talk about that, that being a sign of us needing to work on our faith at another time right now. But let's focus on what it does to our manifesting abilities. Basically, worry is telling the universe that you don't believe your good will come, and you don't think something better can happen. Or even it might point the universe toward manifesting based on your old beliefs. So worry and fear, again, is just pushing away the good stuff and draws in what you're worried about. Not to mention the fact that it can send you into a spiral of anxiety. I know many of us have seen that, and that makes it hard to get back to a positive place. So just be aware again of your worries and catch them before they go on that lovely journey, that spiral, getting worse and really, creating things from your old beliefs and your old fears. And what influence can others have on your manifesting abilities? That's a really good topic is, so many of us have negative people around us in our lives, or negative family members that you sometimes you can't really escape. But you can always choose to reject the thoughts and statements of those people and affirm the positive for yourself. So it's a matter of creating your own reality, and you always have the power to do that. I was taught this lesson the other day in a simple way by my guides, and I always pull an oracle card about my day. Or a few oracle cards, and the ones I pulled for a particular day were all negative, had a very negative underlying message in them. And at first it really flustered me. And then I remembered that I really need to create my own reality. So I decided that these cards weren't true and that I was going to create a positive day. And that's what I did, is I basically erased it from my thoughts and ended up having an amazing day that day that completely contradicted the message on the cards. So, we have that choice. I had the choice to believe those and decide that I was going to have a negative day based on those messages, or that I was going to believe something different. And I was going to go into the day believing something different, that great things were going to happen that day. So, you'll be able to manifest more at a higher level with your heart if you can keep your mind relaxed, positive, calm, and open to inspiration and divine guidance. And really, again, that's all about steering yourself off of that path of worry, of, the influence of others, and keeping yourself on a positive path. So really, manifestation, we don't also want to try and figure out how things will happen, or even lose faith that things are happening. We talked a tiny bit about faith before, but sometimes the biggest challenge that people have with manifesting is their fear that it won't happen. And this usually comes, again, from unworthiness issues that need to be healed, or lack of faith, or old beliefs, things that have happened to you in the past, or things you were led to believe in the past. We get impatient and fearful that things aren't happening, and we need to let go of that and trust. Again, though, it's about believing that you're worthy of it, having faith, and trusting in divine time. We try and figure out how things are going to happen, maybe by buying a bunch of lottery tickets or investing ourselves in getting a certain job that really isn't meant for us. And we need to watch for the signs and just stop pushing. We need to follow our gut, follow our heart, follow our intuition, and follow divine guidance that you get, because you will always be guided and you'll always know the right way. If we just relax and stop pushing, that's a good thing. Many people get surrounded by doubters. We talked about negative people, but doubters, or people, when it comes to believing that things are going to actually happen for you in terms of manifesting, The doubters are all around us. People tell us to get realistic, or, people sadly that have given up on their own dreams of a better life. And they're trying to bring us down to earth where they've kept themselves. And, we need to find space from those sort of naysayers who chip away at our faith in ourselves and in our bright future, in our beliefs in what we're manifesting. Usually when we have been in negative patterns and beliefs in our life, we've attracted similarly negative people to our lives. And that's not our fault. It's, we're evolving now, we're making changes, and sometimes we may need to distance ourselves or cut ties from some of those more negative people to just allow ourselves the space to better ourselves and open ourselves to that best possible life and keep ourselves positive. So again, maybe trying to distance yourself a little bit isn't a bad thing. I know it hasn't been for me. It's not just the heart that needs healing. I want to talk a little bit about healing. The mind needs healing too. Our hearts are usually the feeling place and is where most of the healing work is done. But any unhealed wounds or old beliefs are really making it hard for us to open our heart and attract better. But those old thought patterns are still also running our brain too. For example, if you were raised in a dysfunctional household where you were not unconditionally loved, you probably believe you aren't worthy of love, if you haven't healed this already at least. Not only does this belief close your beautiful heart to real love, but the underlying beliefs and thought patterns all running your brain stem from that experience, influencing your thoughts and leading you to magnetize more experiences of being unlovable. So until the healing, the self-love, and the faith that you're lovable happens, things won't change. And you will continue to manifest at the level of your unworthy and lovable thoughts and feelings. So we need to stop the negative thought patterns and create new programming for ourselves. So where do we even begin with reprogramming our brains? Obviously, we got to stay positive, but what else can we do? Well, while you still have to work on your own healing, self-love, and faith, as I discussed a bit in the first podcast that I did in episode 1, you need to start working on rewiring your mind with new beliefs and positive thoughts. So you can just start to move toward being happy, more friendly, more upbeat, and that energy will start to come back to you. You will notice, you will start to notice, or you should start to notice when your thoughts get negative or where your conversations get negative, and start to make changes when you notice that. Start to, at least in the beginning, starting to notice it is a huge step, but then being able to actually change the course of your conversation. Maybe if you notice it's going to a bad place or a negative area, quickly change the topic, move it to a better place. So those are great steps you can start taking. It's also good to start just believing that good is coming to you every single day. I personally like to wake up every day and begin my day with, either gratefulness or a short prayer, or just, saying thank you for this day filled with magic and miracles, or just something positive. So I think just kind of keeping yourself open to positivity and starting the day off right. And again, just noticing. So, I think that a really great way to just change your thought patterns is also through manifestation techniques, which we'll talk a little bit about, which is really about reprogramming your subconscious mind. And I do a lot of these, and I do find that I've noticed a big difference with them. And I would tell you to be patient with them. So basically, a couple of the manifestation techniques I want to talk about are affirmations and visualizations. But let's talk first about affirmations. So affirmations are repeating positive messages about our lives to ourselves. And it can be incredibly empowering, actually. And I find that some of my affirmations, even though they're a little bit silly, there's one that says, "I am unstoppable." And I swear I love to put my hands on my hips and look like a superhero when I say it, because it makes me feel really powerful. It makes me feel good. So, I think they can be really, as silly as they may feel sometimes, they can be really empowering. And to a mind that's been stuck in a negative, sad, angry, or even unworthy space, like I said, they might feel silly, unrealistic, or far-fetched. But if you can do them, even as you're working on your healing, so if you're, trying to heal some of those old beliefs, if you can do these at the same time, starting with simple ones that feel realistic to you or feel better to you, you can slowly graduate to more and more positive and inspiring ones. And they will start to shift your energy and rewire how you think about your life and the possibilities. So here's the affirmations I came up with around love. So the first one is, I believe that love is possible. And really, that's probably just enough for some people. It might just crack the door open just a little bit, just enough for you to say, okay, that feels good. That might be okay. For other people, it might be, I am open to a positive, loving relationship. That might be where you're at, that your heart is a little more open, your beliefs are a little more open to it. You might be to the point in your healing that you believe that you're worthy of unconditional love. And you may want to say, I am worthy of unconditional love. And that might be where you're at. Or you may be further along and really open to bigger things. And you might say, I am dating the love of my life. And that might be your affirmation. Or for that matter, if your heart is really open and you're really, really strong in your beliefs and you've done all of your healing work and you know who your love is, and you really want to say some strong affirmations around that, you might want to say, I'm in a devoted, loving, romantic, passionate marriage to X, to your person. You might be far enough along that feels good and realistic and feels awesome in your body when you say it. So that might be your affirmation. It just depends on where you're at, finding what feels good and true to where you're at with your current healing and your current openness. So you can upgrade your affirmations as you feel comfortable with them, but you want them to align with what you're able to manifest, what you believe, how healed you are, how open you are, how self-loving you are, and how faithful you are that these are going to happen for you. Because the more all those things are, or the higher the level on all those things for yourself, the more you can manifest, and you can get very specific in your manifesting. Okay, and then there's visualizations. So visualizing positive outcomes for ourselves. Again, this is to train our brains and open our hearts to greater possibilities for ourselves in terms of manifesting. So this can also change your energy in really big ways, lifting you up and teaching you to want more and to dream bigger, opening yourself to a better life. The most common ways to do this are to daydream, which we all love to daydream, or a lot of us do, or to use a vision board to focus on, which I like doing that too. A vision board might be helpful if you're not good at visualizing things in your mind, especially. And vision boards are something that you can create, that you can cut out pictures, you can print pictures off, you can have pictures of specific people, you can have pictures of specific locations, whatever you want, whatever feels good to you. Again, it's just like doing affirmations. It's just like creating affirmations, I should say. And it should feel realistic and possible and good when you look at it, like you're going to get there, that those are things that are realistically going to happen in your life, and you can get excited about it and feel that. So make sure it feels good and possible, and keep it true to what you're passionate about and what you want in your life. And that goes for the vision boards, that goes for your daydreaming too, is dream big for yourself, is daydream about things that feel good and realistic and possible, and enjoy the feelings. I think really the bottom line in all of this is that you want to start to feel those future feelings of having those things in your life now. And we're trying to get that feeling in your heart. We're trying to reprogram your brain, as we're talking about today. But it's all about kind of reprogramming yourself. So keep that in mind. And I found an Albert Einstein quote that was so perfect for visualizations. He said, imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. And that just made me smile, because even Albert Einstein knew that visualization was how you manifest. That cracked me up. So I had to share that. But basically, in summary, really about how the mind affects manifesting and how we need to align it with our heart. Clearly, the mind is capable of limiting what the heart can attract with old and limiting beliefs. So that chattering brain, the negative talk, the things that come out of our mouth that are negative, the conversations we have every day that are negative, like that is limiting what our heart can create and attract if we're keeping ourselves in a negative place. So we do have to work on the mind first. We do have to work on the mind. I shouldn't say first. We can always be trying to attract with our heart. We can always be trying to manifest, and we can be manifesting at all times. But the more we can manage that mind of ours, then the more we can manifest with our hearts. So in quick summary of how the mind affects manifesting and how we need to align it with our heart. So clearly, our mind is capable of limiting what our heart can attract with old and limiting beliefs. So basically, we can always be attracting with our heart. That's not a problem. We can always be working on our affirmations and visualizations and just manifesting. I mean, things that we love, we adore, we're passionate about, those things will be coming to us. But we put a stop to it with our beliefs, and our beliefs are coming from our brains. So what we need to do is to notice that, to work on healing ourselves. Of course, working on our self-love and our faith, and healing ourselves overall. But we can also really work heavily on rewiring our brain to be more positive. So starting to notice what we're doing every day, starting to notice what we're saying, what our thoughts are doing, and starting to make the effort to be more positive, to go in a more positive direction, make more statements, even if they feel a little bit untrue right now, make more positive statements about ourselves and our life. Because the more we say those, if we can get to that point, then we can believe them. So again, reel them back if it's too much, but keep them positive. And basically, we should be doing this in our day-to-day life, noticing, changing, but you can incorporate, like I said, some manifesting techniques, different things that will help to reprogram your brain. You can make a concerted effort to reprogram your mind. And, just like Michael Singer did, you can also meditate and do other things to work on quieting your brain and just bringing yourself to a calmer place so that chatter is more controlled. So regardless of how open your heart is, you also have to have a positive mind in order to manifest. That's it in a nutshell right there. So you need to work on rewiring your brain to be more positive and optimistic. And that is all I wanted to say today. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for joining me today, and stay positive out there. Keep your thoughts positive. Have a great one. Please subscribe to the podcast and check out all of our other resources, videos, blogs, and more at thewheelhouseproject.com. Remember to sign up for our email list while you're there. And also check us out at The Wheelhouse Project on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest.